Welcome back. It's been a while since I've solved some puzzles on chess.com. Other than the daily puzzles that come along once a day, I'm going to try to solve some puzzles today. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a titled player or a chess coach. I'm just a random middle-aged person trying to get better at chess. Lately, I'm getting worse at chess. According to my rating, I assume that's because I've been getting sloppy and I've taken some breaks in between making these videos, which is where I do most of my studying of chess. The last few times I did this, I think the interface had changed, but it looks like it's back to showing my actual puzzle rating here. What do I have here? I have a check, which is a check with this knight. I have a check with the knight over there. I don't think the queen would take because my queen is guarding that square, which is c7. But if the queen did take, I'm pretty sure I would take back. If I checked here on d6, the king has two choices. And then I think no matter which one of those choices it makes, I think I'll have mate here with my queen on f7. One reason I need to work on tactics is because I've been losing to people in rapid and daily games due to tactics. It's not due to the openings. I think I have more opening knowledge than a lot of the people that I play. At least it looks that way. They go out of book before I do almost every time. And I think I have more endgame training than most of my opponents because when we do get to endgames, many of my opponents struggle to checkmate with just, say, a rook and a king or just one queen and a king. But it's always tactics is where I'm losing. So that's why I'm practicing this. But just to be sure, those aren't my only checks. I have a check here and here and here with my queen. But I think in all those cases, the opponent could just take my queen. Are those my only checks that aren't the knight? I think so. And backing up, here this check allows the king to move to one of those two squares, and then I don't think I have a follow-up. I mean, if it moves to e7, I could bring the knight back this way and check again. But as I said, going to d6 looks like the king is forced to one of these squares. I don't think it matters which one. I think this is mate either way when I take the queen to f7. The king can't attack my knight here because the rook is protecting it. So I spent a lot of time on this. I'm going to try that. It looked like it went there. I'm hoping this is checkmate. Okay. The theme was mate in 2. Oh, the theme was also peace play. Regular viewers of this channel know that I complain far too much about the interface here, but I have to ask, aren't all puzzles playing with pieces? So what is the theme peace play? I don't remember seeing that theme before, but yes, we always play with pieces in chess. Unless you're one of those people that doesn't refer to pawns as pieces. Maybe, I don't know. All right, well, maybe that's a good sign that I started off with a win on this puzzle. Well, let's go to the next one. I'll try not to waste too much time talking. Okay, it does look like my opponent is attacking here. If I take that rook, they're going to take me, and then I would have to get out of check, I suppose. We should look for checks, shouldn't we? This is the only check I could think of, but I just realized that's an illegal move. I can't move that rook right now. I cannot check with my queen because my queen cannot get to any of the squares necessary to check. I can check with the other rook, but that just forces the king over one. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, that seems really risky, but I just realized my queen can come over here. If I check here, do they have any other legal moves besides taking? Yes, they can come out. But when they come out, I can just take this rook, and that's also a check. And if they go that way, then that's not mate because the bishop's guarding that square. Okay, so let's see. If I check here and they take it, though, then my queen comes down to h2. They have to go back. I can check over here on h1. They have to come out, and then I can take this rook. They have to go back, and then I can bring my... Oh, no, I can't check down there on h1 because of their queen. Okay, so maybe that's not it. Yeah, their queen is pointed down here. Well, let's rethink this. Still, I'm going to look at this one more time because there's got to be something to it, right? They check, I go here, they just go back. I cannot go to h1, but I could take this pawn with check. Everything doesn't work. I've thought about taking this, they take back, I get out of check. I found nothing. I don't have any captures other than that rook. I don't have any checks other than rook to g1, and I couldn't find any legitimate threats. So I'm going to play rook to g1 check. I'm probably going to get this puzzle wrong. And I know people have given the advice, no, don't make a move in a puzzle until you're sure. But I don't have that kind of time, and I would like to get to other puzzles. So assuming I'm going to fail this one, I'm going to make that move and then move on to another puzzle. Oh, come on. That happens way too often to be... Come on. Oh, my. Oh, I see that now. I didn't see that earlier. If I'd seen that, I would have done it immediately. That's a checkmate. Well, then he shouldn't have gone the other way? It says mate in 3, sacrifice, okay. If that's true, but what if he had gone the other way? I've got to check the analysis board real quick. I, again, don't like this new interface where the blue lines intersperse with these moves because I'm not sure what it... Okay, so they did that, and that was a blunder. Oh, it's a blunder because of RG1, I guess. Okay, but what if I had played this? Yeah, it's not a mate in 3. Or it's not a forced mate in 3, because they can go this way. Okay, then I would take this, and they would take back, and then I would take this rook. It doesn't matter whether they took back with the queen or the bishop, the king or the bishop, because I was going to take this one, and then they get out of check, and I'm just ahead. Although this puzzle did go the direction of mate in 3, I dislike them using the term mate in 3 here when it's not a forced mate in 3. It's a mate in 3 because the opponent didn't make the best move after I sacrificed the rook. Okay, well, I got it right, so good for me. I guess we'll go on to the next puzzle. Okay, in this one, they have come down here. They probably should have come down with the queen, is my guess, because this isn't a check, and I think that's going to make a lot of difference. Because if they had left that rook back there and checked with the queen, I would have had to move over, and then I think that would have been checkmate. There wouldn't have been anything else to do. So they gave me an extra turn. Do I have checks? I have a check here, but I don't think that's good. The queen is guarding that spot. Although, if they took it, then I would get the rook, but that's not a good trade for me, right? I also obviously have checks here with the queen on those 3 squares, but those are all bad, probably because the king can take all 3 of them. Okay, my other check that I see is here with the rook down to d7. Bishop is guarding that square, so I assume they would take it, but I have another rook. The king can't come toward the rook, so it would have to go away from the rook, one of 3 different areas. And if it went to one of the 2 on the F file, either F8 or F6, then I could bring the queen here, which is a check on E7. And if the king was up here on F6, then that would be checkmate. If it was down there, it would have to move over, and then I would have checkmate. So is this another sacrifice they take? I check with the other rook. What if they go to the other square where I would not have immediate checkmate? Oh yeah, that's not a checkmate because the rook blocks. Then I would have to check here, I think, and the king would have to move over or block with the rook, and either way I would have a mate. Okay, I think it's that. We're going to check with both rooks, and it did go down there. Now I think I determined that this is bad, right? Wait, maybe not. Maybe not. Because if they block with the rook, I take this pawn, and then their only legal move is to move over, and that's checkmate. Okay, what was my other idea? To go here? Oh, they block with the rook protected by the queen. Okay, then it is queen to e8. And here, and then that's checkmate. Oh my goodness, mate in 3+. But again, was this one forced? I think this one was forced. Oh, and I got 15 points even though I took a long time. So, I mean, I'm happy about that, but I'm surprised. I just want to check real quick to make sure it wasn't a forced mate, because after that, oh, okay, this one was, as I thought. And it was their best move to take and my best move to take. Their best move was G8, as I guessed before we started, because I found quick mates with those 2. This one was a little harder, but yeah, if I checked on E6, it's bad. Oh, it's even worse if they just move over. Okay, see, I thought they would have blocked here. I still could have taken this pawn, but then I don't have the rook protecting that file. Okay, so I'm glad I made the right choice. Thank you for sticking with me. I've used up half my time already. Hopefully editing will make it seem like that's not the case, but I'm halfway to 30 minutes here. Well, the opponent clearly has more material than I do, but their mistake possibly was not developing any of that material. Let's see. It also looks like they're about to get this bishop, because if I take back, they'll get my queen, and then I'll be really down on material. Okay, do I have any checks? I do have this check. That's probably not good. I assume they would take it, and then I don't have a follow-up, or not a good follow-up. I mean, I would have this follow-up with the rook, with the bishop, but that's not good, probably. If I go there first, then they're just going to get my bishop for free. Oh, I have the check with this bishop. That's probably it, because my queen is cutting off the entire E file. And the bishop, of course, is cutting off that diagonal, so the king would have 2 options, both of which I could check with a follow-up from my queen, and that would only give them 1 option, I think, depending on either one of those squares, whichever one they went to. I think that they would then have to go to C3, and then the pieces have moved too far for me to guess what I should do after that. How do I check after C3? I mean, I could at that point check with the bishop, but then they would take it. Wait. Okay, if I check with the bishop first, I'm still having trouble visualizing that far ahead. I'm going to check with the bishop. Okay, they did go there. My idea originally was to go here with the queen, but that leaves them the C3 square. And then, guess I could check down here. No, they can block with the bishop if I do that. Okay, yeah, I'm failing to see the follow-up after, even though I have made 1 move now and they've made 1 move, I'm failing to see the follow-up after king to C3. Is it the bishop sacrifice? They take that. Then I check with the pawn, and they have to go back because my queen would be guarding my b pawn. And then after they go back, what do? I'm not going to check here on e3 because their bishop would be guarding that once their king's out of the way, right? What is it? Okay, maybe it is checking here with the queen first. They can block with the knight, but then I come over and take this d pawn with check. Maybe that's it. And then when they come over here, my queen will be out of the way. I'm going to take the b pawn with my queen. I really wanted to go to e2, but I can't figure out what to do when the king goes over there. Okay, so it must have been e2 then. Oh, I only lost 3 points. I guess that's because I got the first move right. Now I'm the one who can win material, said this guy here. Okay, you can't win this. What? Well, I thought I was clicking on my queen here, but it reset to the previous move. So is it this then? It was. Okay, well, it's not that. It's not this. Sit down here and they block with the bishop. And then I check here and they have to take, and then I take their bishop. And it wasn't that. Was it giving away the bishop? Okay. Then is it pawn? Oh, it could come in here. Okay, then is it this? Well, he could have taken the pawn there. Is it taking the knight? Why did he give away the knight? He could have gotten away. All right, I'm lost. I am happy. I only lost 3 points. Maybe they've changed the algorithm, how many points you lose at various things, but okay. So after this, I have a mate in 7. If I start with bishop to f3, well, I did find that. I had 2 choices. That's what I said. And either way, I would check, but it would, okay. I would have checked on e4 if he had gone to c2, but he went to d2. Okay, what was the problem with this? The problem with that is that he just gets out of check. Oh, I thought he had to block with the knight, but he just moves out of check. That makes sense. I understand that. Backing up. So it had to be down here. This time he has only the one legal move, which is, I think I had already determined that. Okay, so it was giving away the bishop. That's what I had to figure out, not checking down here. Just out of curiosity, if I check down here, he blocks with the bishop. And why couldn't I check over here? Because he would take it, and then I would take, oh no, the knight's guarding that. Okay. Wow. So it had to be giving away the bishop before, not doing the way I said, because the way I said, their bishop would be here protected by their own knight, and their only legal move is to take the bishop. I think I even got this far at some point before I started playing the puzzle, but I thought it would go back. I thought the king would go back to c3, but that's not even one of the top 2 options. If it goes to a3, then I have a mate in 2. But the way that I didn't even realize it could go there. But what happens if it goes here? Oh, it's a mate in 1 with the pawn. Because my queen's cutting off this diagonal. Okay, that's why I think that's why I discarded that whole line. Not only because it was really long and complicated, but because I didn't see what I would do after they just went back. But when they went forward, which threw me off even more. I had to come back down to e7, and it should have taken my, no, if it takes my pawn, it's mate in 1. That's why I thought they would do, and I would go this way. Oh, but instead they played the best move, which was putting the knight here, and the last move of the puzzle was me taking the knight. Well, now it's mate in 1, but the puzzle stopped here, didn't it? Because now it has to take this pawn. Oh, I have multiple mates in 1s. c6 and b4 are both mates in 1, and there might be another one that I'm missing, but those 2 are definitely mates. Okay, that's why the puzzle didn't continue. I don't know why it couldn't have. If it went through that many moves, sorry, how many moves was that? That was like 6 or 7 moves. If it went through that many, they could have given you both checkmate in 1 options at the end. Okay. All right. Okay, it had to be down here. Then it had to be giving away the bishop, checking with the pawn, coming back to e7, and taking the knight. All right. Well, I've only missed 1 in this session. I've got time for 1 more. Let's go. I think this is a forced mate in 2. I think I check with the pawn. When the king takes, this is checkmate, isn't it? Queen to c5, because my queen would be cutting off all those squares and my other pawn would be cutting off a6. Okay, what if it doesn't take? What if it just moves forward 1? Then I check here, and I think that's mate. No, then it has to take the pawn, and then I have checkmate. I think that's it. Okay, it did move forward. Okay, then I think I have to check down here on c6, which forces it to take the pawn. Because the pawn's guarding there, my queen would be guarding all of this, and my pawn is guarding the queen, so they'd be forced to take the pawn. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And then right here, this should be mate. Mate in, oh, I got 20? 20? Yeah, I think they've changed the points a little. I didn't think you could get 20 points for a puzzle before. And that one's rated 2182. Well, I'm out of time, or almost out of time. I don't have enough time to start another puzzle. I feel pretty good about this. I haven't done a puzzle solving video in a month or more, and it feels like I'm back on track to my this run of increasing my puzzle rating. Hopefully I will get back up to, a decent puzzle rating before too long. Maybe eventually that will filter down to my rapid rating. As always, I appreciate you spending your time here when I do make a video, which is rare these days, and I'll see you next time.